Hey there, YouTube friends, Masked Bandit here. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I always do appreciate it. And welcome back to Summerdale. This is episode number 11. Good old Summerdale. It's now turned into fall and potentially Winterdale. Nah, we're going to keep it called Summerdale. Project's taking a little bit longer than I anticipated. It's a little bit bigger than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be a really small project. It's turned into something a little bit larger than that. And because of that, I'm going to need some help. I'm going to need some help with this project. So in the real-time portion of the video today, we're going to have one of my buddies that I met through Bronation, Mr. Redline. Redline is going to be with us today, and he's going to talk about his vision for the park, and then we're going to pass it off to him for a couple weeks, let him do some cool stuff. But we'll talk more about that in the real time. Let's talk about what's going on here, the part that I actually did for this episode, and that was predominantly work on the station for the Invert, which we are going to call Fireball. Don't have a custom sign for it yet. I plan on making one, but decided to get this station done, and I wanted it to be as simple and almost utilitarian as possible, while still having something interesting going on. And that roofline kind of aided itself to being a little interesting. Kind of looks like like a hangar for an airplane. And I guess in the back of my head, I always had X-Flight in Six Flags Great America, a wing coaster, wing rider. Same color scheme, same sort of idea for the station, with the arch, with the arch there and the support work. I just think it looks kind of. I really like the way it looks, and it's simple, but still has some detail. Like one of the things that I had a conversation with Jonty the other day about how you want to make sure that when you're building in the simplistic style, it looks intentionally simple and not just I'm bad at Planet Coaster. And that sounds ridiculous, but that's a hard balance to hit. Like, as silly as that sounds, it's not as easy to do as you might think. So I'm very pleased with the way this turned out. The hardest part is these station paths are so big that everything you make is essentially a giant cube, especially in the style I build. It's all very blocky, and then it's a matter of hiding it and making it look less blocky than it really is. And again, I think it turned out pretty well. I like this little detail here of these the angles of the iron here to kind of make it look like it comes out of the building more naturally than just stopping full stop like that. So yeah, we're gonna let this roll, and I do want to have a little chat about what's going on starting tomorrow. Planet Zoo comes out, and if you know, I mean, I'm sure you know, I was full on in the beta, and I've already got plans. We've already got plans for Bro Coaster to pick back up, and I've got my own personal zoo projects I want to do. And I know a lot of people, it's the new hotness, and some people are bummed because they want to see more Planet Coaster. I understand that. And I want you to know, I've said it lots, but I really want to hold firm that Planet Coaster is not going to is going to be on the channel, just not in the immediate future. I mean, you know how it is when you get a new game. You want to dive right in. And especially being so similar to Planet Coaster in its building aesthetic and the way you build, like, I am so excited to show you all the planning that Mike and I have been doing for Planet Zoo. And I think, even if zoos aren't your favorite thing, if you're a theme park person at heart, but you like my channel, and you like the stuff I build, and you like the stuff Mike builds, I really think you're going to like Planet Zoo. I really think you're going to like Season Zoo on our channels. And I think you're going to like my zoo project. Even though there won't be coasters or rides, you're going to get the same attention to detail and the same aesthetic. I'd say give it a chance. And just because we're shifting gears for a few weeks to a few months here with zoo, doesn't mean that Planet Coaster's not coming back to the channel. It will come back to the channel. By the way, tried to fix the Immelman here. Gave that a hard nope. And we're going to leave it jacked up. I'm totally okay with that. I don't care. But Planet Coaster will always be, or a coaster simulation will always be, the bread and butter of my channel forever. I've been playing these games since Roller Coaster Tycoon 1, and I'm pretty sure that came out when I was in middle school. I think. I'm old. I've been playing it a long time. I've been playing these games a long time, and I can't imagine myself not playing these games for any extended period of time. So yeah, zoo will be hot and heavy for a while, but we'll be back to coasters, and we'll be back to theme parks. It's a passion of mine, and I'm not going to ignore it. So just wanted to get that out there so we're all crystal clear on that. I am trying to work on a mock coaster here, and it's interesting, and it doesn't stick around. I like the idea of it. I just don't like what I can come up with it. The area is deceptively small. It's not an easy space to work in. I thought it was easier than it was. It's not. It's really hard to fit a full layout, a full coaster that's well designed, paced well, smooth, good transitions. It's a lot. Well, it's beyond my pay grade. It's beyond my skill set. Let's just say that. I mean, what I end up with, I'm okay with. It's not my favoriteest thing in the world, but it's okay. And this is actually where we're going to pick up the real-time portion. I think. Maybe not. What I ended up doing is I think I've tried to rebuild this coaster, legitimately 6 times. And each time it gets a little bit closer, but I end up having to delete most of it all the way back towards the initial inversion and just try. And I'm still kind of like, not happy with where it's going, which is why I'm kind of glad that we're bringing Redline in to kind of take over for a while. He has different ideas for this area, and I think it's going to be good for the overall park. Sometimes I get too closely wed to my idea, and I can't see the forest through the trees, and what I think is best for the park really isn't, and it takes someone else or something else to really show that, no, that's not what's going to make this park better in the long run. And that's why it's so nice to have a community like Bro Nation to help with that, when everyone else under the sun can see that what you got going on isn't working. And then eventually you find your way and you fix it. So that's about all I have for this part of the video, this time-lapse portion. So why don't we hop into real time, and I will get you better acquainted and introduce you properly to my guest, friend, and person who's going to be in charge of Summerdale for a while, Redline. So sit right there, and I'll be right back after this cut. So here we are in the real-time portion of our Summerdale episode 11, and I have with me a special guest, which I'm sure I talked about in the time-lapse. Shame on me if I didn't. But we have one of our friends from Bro Nation, Redline, here today. Hello, Redline.
Hello, maskedbandit, and everybody else.
Yes. And this is one of, if not the first time you've been on a Planet Coaster YouTube video, I think, yeah? Aside from what you've done for the competition.
Yes, this would be the first time that my voice has been heard on a Planet Coaster video.
Wow. And for those of you who don't know, Redline was in the Bro Nation Summer Bro Down last year. You didn't compete this year, did you?
I did not. We were going to Germany in the middle of the summer, so it just didn't really work out time-wise.
Right, scheduling. But he made it all the way to the finals, and we got to know him a bit through that process. And I was fortunate enough to get to meet him in person this summer at Cedar Point at the Bro Nation meetup, and that was a super awesome time. Got to hang out in the line for Steel Vengeance with you.
Yes, for better or worse.
Yeah, you were there at Ground Zero for the Lost Wallet fiasco. But the reason you're here is you reached out to me and asked, hey, I know that Planet Zoo is coming in hot and heavy real soon, and if I was interested, wanted to share the park, and I was like, absolutely, because I know your quality of work is quite high. So I said, yeah, absolutely, you are more than welcome to come on in and take Summerdale off my hands for a few weeks while I get settled into Planet Zoo, and so that's why you're here today. So, yeah, thanks for volunteering.
No problem. I appreciate you allowing me to take your baby off your hands here for a little bit.
Well, thanks. It's been slow go. I expected this to be done, but it's actually bigger than I thought it was. It's a little bit bigger of a project than I initially thought. So, first things first. Let's take a look at the station for the Invert, because that was built in this episode, and super simple. Super easy going here. You saw it in the time lapse, but just here's a better look at it. Kind of reminds me. Are you familiar with X-Flight, the Six Flags Great America at all? Probably not. You're not from that vicinity.
Is X before Geauga Lake?
No, this is Six Flags Great America in Illinois. This is the one in Gurnee. Now, it was one of the first wing riders that Six Flags put up, and it had this kind of air hanger feel. So that's kind of what we're going for.
Oh, I do know.
Yeah.
I do know what you're talking about.
All right, cool. So that's kind of what we're going for here. Kind of dig the way it turned out. It's simple. I wanted it to be super simple, but I think it actually kind of fits in pretty well with this area.
Yeah, I like the competing arches there on the entrance side.
Awesome.
It's kind of neat.
Thank you. And we were talking in Messenger before we jumped on the recording. You mentioned that this is quite a short layout. You're surprisingly short, you said.
Well, so not short as in like length, but the height of it is impressively not tall.
I was going kind of for a Batman vibe. I don't know how tall it is, but I know Batman's only like 80-something feet, so...
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't know how tall it actually is in game, but I started building things beside it, and I was like, wow, this really isn't that tall.
Well, we won't look at the friction being 0.8, but
no, we just a little bit of hand waving.
Yeah, it's fine. I need the "We're done, it's fine" sticker.
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, we got that done, and then here's what I spent, and most of what I did with this stupid coaster didn't even make it to video. Like, I recorded a good chunk, and then I decided screw it, because no one wants to watch me make 17 versions of the same coaster. And by the time I got to the 17th version, I don't know if it was actually 17, that's when you contacted me. I was like, yes, please, for the love of God, take it.
To anything yeah.
And your first question was, how hard set are you on this coaster? And I'm feeling it. I like the coaster. I don't like this coaster, but I like the idea of a coaster. But you suggested something different. So why don't you tell us what was on your plate, what on your mind?
Yeah, so, I mean, I saw that, and I saw the open area, and I'm trying to think, like, what your park was missing, and I noticed it was called Summerdale. And I was like, this really could use, like, a water ride to cool off, because it is Summerdale, after all. And so I was thinking of doing, like, a flume. And actually, my original plan was to try and do a flume and a car ride, like, underneath of it. But as you had pointed out in our chat, the space was a little bit smaller than maybe it looked.
Right.
So yeah, that's my plan for the area.
And I've seen pictures already of some concepts. We're not using that file because Redline has been working on it today while I was getting ready for the episode. But he showed me some idea, and I was not gonna lie. When he first suggested it, I did I'd really like the coaster there, but when he showed me the pictures, I was much more on board with it. You made it fit the area really nicely. So I'm gonna say you should totally run with it and run with your idea. And if we can squeeze a coaster in somewhere else, then we could do it. And if not, then so be it. That's kind of where I'm at with it right now. So I'm gonna give I'm gonna give you the blessing of you have free reign on the park to do what you want. So. You got any other ideas? Well, within reason. Don't level it. I mean, it should be recognizable.
Sure.
But some thoughts some other areas that you think you want to work on, or things that you think you might have in mind.
Yeah. So the other area that intrigued me is this area with the bumper cars and the whip down here. So what I did is I moved the bumper cars over to where the whip is. And then I put I guess like a Music Express on the corner instead of the whip. And I was going to try and do like a corner building that wrapped around the outside of that Impulse.
Oh,
and
cool.
then maybe do like like a service building or something off to the side of it to be connected to it to kind of wrap all the way around.
All right. That sounds good.
I don't know.
This area has... Go ahead.
I don't know if you had considered timeline. Like, the whip to me seems like it might be a little bit old for the park.
Honestly, part of my thing was let's use all the rides from the expansion packs that we have never touched. So that's
fair.
Yeah, but you're right. This whole idea of the park, it was built off of an old park in Chicago, Riverview Amusement Park in Chicago. And
Okay.
they had a whip and a lot of old rides, but my thought was, what if it was still open today and they just totally started revamping, tearing down everything and putting in brand spanking new stuff? Which, even if that's the
Right.
storyline, the whip doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know too many parks now that still have a whip. Like,
Right.
I know Kennywood still has a whip, and there are a couple others that, but it's not real common, and just based off of other rides that were in the park, it would be a solid, I don't know, 40 years older than anything else.
Mm-hmm. And see, this is why I'm glad you're here, because you know a lot about theme park, about history of rides and timelines, and you're good with all that stuff. So that's why I'm actually really glad you're here.
Yeah, I'm glad to lend a hand.
Yeah.
And at least pretend like I know what I'm talking about
Hey,
sometimes.
I'm down with it. I'm down with it. The only thing is, the Johnny Rockets hat cannot be altered in any capacity because this wasn't made
No,
by,
I didn't.
that wasn't made by me. That was made by Uwakins, another great member of Bro Nation. So,
Well, so I was wondering whether I should try to match that type of architecture, or whether I should try to match the architecture at the, by the Ferris wheel.
I see, that's the hard part. Like, I'd like to see a little bit more of the same style of Johnny Rockets and the Impulse, but at the same point, it makes sense to have this generic style. So maybe both. And then just
I can
work your
try and have them meet in the middle somehow.
Yeah, and even if it looks kind of stark, transition, I don't think that's the worst thing ever. Yeah, I'm going to leave it up to you. Just shoot me pictures every now and again, and we'll see.
Cool.
You also talked about trying to free up some room, trying to free up as much space in the park proper. What you got? Any thoughts for that?
Yeah, so I'm trying to remember what I had fiddled around with, but where the invert comes by, and you've got that straight path that comes across.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had taken that path and brought it a little bit closer to the invert.
Oh.
And then I started to do custom supports that were coming down on the other side.
Okay.
So that opened up some space.
So this whole area right here.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Cool.
Not like a ton bigger, but
Enough.
anything in Planko is worth getting some extra space.
Every square being 4 meters. That only takes a couple to get
Exactly.
some decent space back. Awesome. Well, I think that this is a great place to leave it then, and to let you get to work.
We'll do that.
Yeah, I'm super pumped, and hopefully you are too. Just a heads up, and I probably have mentioned it in the time lapse, but just a reminder that you're going to see a lot of Planet Zoo in the future on this channel, starting as early as tomorrow. But that doesn't mean that we're never going to see Planet Coaster again on this channel. I mean, I would not give the park to Redline and make a video about it if I wasn't planning on having him back to show off all the awesome stuff he did. So there will be more Planet Coaster on the channel. I've had a couple people like, oh great, we're losing another channel to Planet Zoo, or oh, I hate Planet Zoo. That's fine, but my intention is still to play Planet Coaster. It just might be a while, so it's coming back. I can't not play. I've been playing theme park simulation games since Roller Coaster Tycoon 1, pretty much nonstop. So I don't know, when did you hop on the franchise?
Well, actually, I played Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 and 2 pretty faithfully, and then I played 3 for a little while, but I never got into it far enough for all of the modding and stuff to come through.
Okay.
That was those couple of years where I didn't have quite as much time to play games as I would like, and it just sort of fell off, and then Planet Coaster showed up, and that was when I got back into things.
Cool. Sounds awesome. That's great. So yeah, don't expect us to just up and leave. It might be a while, but we'll be back. So I look forward. So in episode, 12, Redline will be back, and it'll kind of be a tour of everything that's changed. And it might be a while, but more time for him to do some amazing things. Maybe the whole park will be done by the next time he joins us.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
By the way, I know I said it in the episode, but I do want to give a final. Since you're here with me, I just want to say, you are like the king of carousels. This is Redline's work, and so if you didn't watch the episode where we put the carousel in, this is the kind of high-quality work you have to look forward to. So, also the carousel in Missouri Gardens was also made by Redline. So, this is the kind of awesome stuff we have to look forward to. So thank you so much, just since you're here. Thanks for making this. It's so great.
I appreciate it. I don't know what made me gravitate towards carousels, but like it.
And I know I was
jam for me.
I know I was also super picky about what I wanted.
You were fairly picky, but that's okay. It's good to have a little bit of challenge with it.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's what I challenged you. Sure. All right, guys. Well, with that being said, that's going to do it for this episode. So if you enjoyed, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see all of you for the next episode of Summerdale. So with all that being said, have a great day, great night, great whatever. And I will see you really soon. Take care, everyone. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.